Tonight on To The Point, noise around the airport. People living near SMF asking for change.
I would love the Sacramento airport to institute like the nighttime ban of flying over communities, and they fly up to 1,500 feet.
The death toll rises in Maui's fires. How you can help. And heading back to school during a teacher shortage. Some schools are turning to AI for relief.
Good evening. This is To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. Noise around the Sacramento International Airport is back up for debate. People living in Natomas either love the planes or they hate them. Tonight, the community is meeting to express their concerns to the FAA. Our Jeannie Nguyen is live at the North Natomas Library with more on these noise complaints.
Alex, that meeting started about half hour ago here at the Natomas Community Center, and inside there are dozens of people, all of them here for the same reasons. They think it is too loud here in Natomas when planes fly above, so they're hoping with this meeting it will convince the FAA to do something about the noise.
For the past 40 years, this Natomas neighborhood has been home to Karen O'Hare.
It has been fabulous up until 2015.
That's when she says her peace was interrupted by the planes flying above.
The FAA rerouted all the flights from over the ag land, over the densely populated schools and park area.
This has caused a drastic change in O'Hare's quality of living.
If you slept with your windows open, you would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning with flights going really low over your house and very noisily. You can't have conversations sometimes. You can't watch TV.
That's why tonight, Councilmember Lisa Kaplan is hosting a meeting to talk about the FAA flight noise policy, a meeting that will allow the public to give input to the FAA.
During 2015, the FAA created what was called the Next Gen policy, and the community fought against it.
Kaplan says that policy changed the height at which the planes were flying, causing more noise for the residents in Natomas.
Flying significantly lower, more at like 500 feet, where they used to be about 1,500 feet before they flew over houses or turned.
Through this meeting, Kaplan is hoping to get the FAA to update their noise policy.
I would love the Sacramento airport to institute like the nighttime ban of flying over communities, and they fly up to 1,500 feet.
Hoping that would also help lower the noise levels in the neighborhood.
The sound level, right now it's at 65 decibels. The World Health Organization says at night it should be no more than 30, and during the day 45. So we need that to be implemented.
But for some residents like Kim Donovan, a Natomas resident for 7 years, she doesn't mind the noise.
It didn't bother me at all. It wasn't a deciding factor. So it's just kind of the noise for the day.
But she understands tonight's meeting is important.
But the FAA needs to hear the public's concern. I agree. But I don't know if that's going to sway their decision.
An FAA spokesperson tells ABC 10 it will continue to take tonight's comments into consideration when reviewing the national noise policy.
Now, the FAA will continue to accept comments from the public for their noise policy review until the deadline, which is September 29th. Alex.
Jeannie, in the meantime, what does the FAA suggest people do if the noise does get too loud?
Now, an FAA spokesperson tells me that they encourage residents to contact the airport about any ongoing concerns, but the FAA also has an online comment portal, and we have posted a link to that on our website at abc10.com.
All right, Jeannie, thank you so much. The death toll is rising in Hawaii's wildfires. At least 53 people are confirmed dead in Maui. Fires ravaged parts of the island in the middle of the night, and search and rescue teams expect the death toll to rise. Nearly 1,000 buildings have been destroyed. President Biden declared a disaster today, and Governor Newsom is sending a California strike team to the area, which includes firefighters from Sacramento. The most devastated area is historic Lahaina on the western shore of Maui. It's a popular tourist spot filled with restaurants and shops. Travel to Maui is discouraged right now. Thousands are expected to take refuge in a convention center in Honolulu.
What we saw looked like an area that had been bombed and burned in a war zone. It was unbelievable.
We went for a walk. We kind of turned the corner and Lahaina was just on fire.
The damage done to Lahaina is believed to be worth billions of dollars. And people have been talking about Lahaina's famous banyan tree that takes up a whole city block. This is what the tree used to look like. It's 150 years old and served as a gathering place for both people and chickens. This is what the banyan tree looks like now. Those tree branches are completely charred. There's significant damage, and officials are unsure if the tree will even survive. And as Sacramento Fire and the Red Cross and others from California head to Maui to help, our Roxana Leah shares how you can help too.
This was a home.
Devastation is taking over as Hawaii residents are forced to leave their homes without anything.
Well, the situation in Hawaii is a lot like what we've experienced for the last several years in Northern California when we have wildfires. And what that means is people that are forced to evacuate, many of them have nowhere else to go.
Steve Walsh with the Red Cross says this is where they come in. Their role in a disaster is to provide for immediate needs such as shelter, food, and access to resources. But they can't do it without your help.
We have everything that we need to provide for these folks. But we can only do that, though, thanks to financial donations so that we can help determine what specifically these people in these shelters need, and we'll get that done.
Sacramento Fire also sending over a battalion chief to Hawaii. He'll be working as a liaison between the community and a government team. Cal OES says it's working with FEMA, and Governor Gavin Newsom has directed them to deploy 11 members of California's Urban Search and Rescue Task Forces to aid in recovery operations and search for survivors. Team members from state and federal will assist in the coordination and support of emergency operations in the hardest hit areas. And as you watch from home, Walsh wants to remind people who are living in areas that are fire prone, this is the time to prepare.
Think about if you had to evacuate, what would you do? What would you put in your go bag? Make sure that the people that you love know where you're going and know where you're going. All the basic stuff, because it's really hard to plan to evacuate when the fire is nipping at your heels right now.
And a very important reminder, if you do want to donate to the Red Cross, call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcross.org. In other news tonight, more than half of sexual assaults in Sacramento County's unhoused community go unreported. That's just one of the key findings from the county sheriff's office. They say in the first 7 months of this year, 422 domestic violence incidents happened among the unhoused. Only 53 were reported, though. There were 402 sexual assaults. Only 162 were reported. Unhoused registered sex offenders are among the Sacramento County Sheriff's concerns as well.
You think about the folks out there, registered sex offenders, a lot of parolees that are homeless that aren't monitored, probationers that aren't monitored, and these folks prey upon other homeless folks. There's a hierarchy there, and that's unfortunate. And really, if you're a woman, your life is in danger every day.
Mental illnesses are also contributing to the crisis. You can read more about these numbers at abc10.com. The number of people that attended the state fair this year declined by nearly 10%. The state fair was held at Cal Expo on days that were well above 100 degrees. Attendance at the state fair this year was just under 595,000 people. A new addiction and mental health treatment facility is being proposed in French Camp. San Joaquin County says that they'd use the money from a national opioid settlement to build the facility. The county is getting about $53 million. The facility would be built on 23 acres of county land.
This funding that we received will be used for treatment, recovery, and prevention, and it will save lives here in the county.
The proposal is still in the initial stages, and it does have a long way to go, but the goal is to complete phase 1 of the project by 2025-2026. Still ahead, onto the point, heading back to school during a teacher shortage.
And temperatures are cool for now in those mid to upper 80s out there, but that's not going to last long. We are expecting a major heat up headed our way. How hot we'll get and for how long.
And rebuilding livelihoods. We're in Solano County, where residents are still struggling now 3 years after the LNU complex fire.
Every structure burned down here, every fence, every shed, every barn.
What's keeping some people from rebuilding? All right, getting a check of our forecast here with meteorologist Carly Gomez. It's still a little warm today, but well below average, which is pretty nice.
That is so nice. I mean, 92, that's the average this time of year. We have been below that number pretty much most of the week here, as we have been seeing temperatures around 90 degrees in Sacramento, 92 in Marysville, 94 in Stockton, with 91 degrees in Modesto, For the high today, 95 in Oroville. So looking good. We're still below average. And we're going to see another similar day again tomorrow. In the Big Mountain backyard, you're currently looking at temperatures at 87 degrees in Sacramento, just slightly dropping off here, but still staying warm. Stockton, Modesto, and Marysville in the low 90s with 75 in Tahoe. Now, the winds are still about light, about 10 to 15 miles per hour in the valley, but still picking up through the Delta. Fairfield, 23-mile-per-hour winds through the Carquinez Strait, and we'll continue to see some of the pickup there between Fairfield and Stockton this evening. Now, as we take a look at what's happening further south, there is a low pressure system circulating in some moisture. They've been dealing with quite a bit of moisture in Southern California, and that's starting to create some pop-up thunderstorm chances for the Sierra as that moisture clashes with some of our heat. Now, we are anticipating seeing some more of these thunderstorm chances making their way up further north into the Tahoe region by tomorrow, but for today, they still stay just further south of South Lake Tahoe toward Yosemite. Now, as we take a look into our evening hours, we'll see temperatures dropping off from the mid to low 60s by around 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. A few clouds do roll into the area, partly sunny to mostly sunny skies, as by 11 you'll see about 73 degrees. And looking at the 10-day forecast, that brings us to the mid to upper 80s tomorrow for your Friday. Warming up in the weekend in the mid-90s, and then we hit triple digits Monday through Wednesday, slightly starting to cool off by the low 90s by this time next week.
Thanks, Carly. Next, on to the point, heading back to school during a teacher shortage. Some schools are turning to AI for relief. Welcome back. Today was the first day of school for thousands of students, teachers, and staff right here in our region. Elk Grove Unified welcome back to everybody, along with San Juan Unified, Natomas Unified, and schools out in Roseville. And some started the new school year at a brand new school. This is Westbrook Elementary in Roseville. This morning's ceremony included a 50-foot red carpet welcome, balloons, photo ops, and entertainment. Educators are really excited about this new facility.
Oh, everything about this new school. We've got a lot of outdoor spaces. We've got a great play structure. The kids are excited with the open spaces for learning, and the teachers are excited with the natural light that's coming through all their windows. It's going to be a great year.
And that school will be able to hold up to 800 students. As students across the country start a new school year, there is still a teacher shortage. Schools are getting creative, trying to hire and offer relief.
It's back to school time, and many educators worry students are heading back into another year with less teachers.
Fewer and fewer people going into the teaching profession, which is making the teaching shortage much, much worse.
The American Federation of Teachers estimates 10% of the U.S. teaching force, which is roughly 300,000 teachers, have left their role for 2 years in a row. At least 40 states, including California, have reported ongoing shortages. Stockton Unified tells us they had 137 open positions. They filled 90 of those spots so far, offering incentives for new teachers, including a signing bonus of up to $10,000. But less teachers still means bigger class sizes.
Today I'm expecting 36 kids. When we had a smaller classes, you have chance to be there for every single student.
Among the top reasons for teacher departures are pandemic burnout, school safety, and pay. So some schools are even thinking about implementing artificial intelligence in classrooms.
This allows them to create a community of practice for our teachers and really incubate AI lessons and teaching practices to build long-term capacity in our district.
Experts say that AI could relieve some of the burden off of teachers for time-consuming tasks like lesson planning.
And President Joe Biden has called for teacher pay raises, but despite bipartisan support for educators, no federal bills have progressed through the House or the Senate. And we are continuing to cover the Hawaii wildfires. At least 53 people are now confirmed dead in Maui. Fires ravaged part of the island in the middle of the night, and search and rescue teams expect the death toll to rise. Nearly 1,000 buildings have been completely destroyed. President Biden declared a disaster today, and Governor Newsom is sending a California strike team to the area, which includes firefighters from Sacramento. So if you do want to help the people in Maui, the Red Cross says that the easiest thing that you can do right now is to donate by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcross.org. And rebuilding after a wildfire, it takes years. In 2020, the LNU Lightning Complex fire burned more than 350,000 acres of land in Napa and Solano counties and also those surrounding areas. Survivors there are now facing other battles since those firestorms took their home. Our Alicia Machado has their stories tonight.
Looking out over the hills of Solano County, signs of the devastation still remain 3 years after the LNU Lightning Complex fire tore through the area.
There's 11 houses on this road and it took out all but one. Every house was burned.
Cheryl Patelzik and her husband Tim lost their home in Winters during the fire in August 2020.
Is this all that's really left of the old house? Is this walkway?
A series of lightning strikes sparked the blaze that swept through 5 counties from Lake to Solano. Tim nearly caught by the flames trying to get out.
He came out and the fire was on the top of the hills there. And before he could get out of the house, the fire had come all the way down the hill. It was like a firestorm.
And this is what they returned to.
Every structure burned down here. Every fence, every shed, every barn.
The fire burned for a month and a half, tearing through more than 360,000 acres, the 6th largest wildfire in California history. Nearly 1,500 structures destroyed in its path.
Hardly anybody left but us. One other person has rebuilt a house that's almost done. That's it for all 11 houses on this road.
501 properties were damaged by the LNU fire in Solano County. Since then, the county tells us 99 property owners have sought to rebuild. Of those, only 48 homes are built and ready to live in.
A lot of people moved. They couldn't handle rebuilding. Cleanup alone was too frustrating.
About 15 miles away, the English Hills area near Vacaville also devastated by the fire.
There was nothing salvageable, nothing.
Kathy Brusso lost her home there, along with collector cars.
Just going out there and cleaning up the place, it just broke your heart. And the hard part was our neighbor, we had 2 neighbors that died in the blaze. Yeah, they weren't able to get out of their home.
In total, 6 people died in the fire. For Kathy, the annual fire risk was too great, and with no insurance, Kathy made the decision to leave the ranch passed down to her by her grandparents and move to Angels Camp to start anew.
All the red tape and everything to rebuild and all the soil samples that took for a long time to come back, it would have been a 3-year wait just to start building.
And she's one of many unable to rebuild, others faced with inadequate insurance or high construction costs. Back in Winters, Cheryl and Tim fought to stay after the fire, cleaning up the ash-covered land and debris while living out of an RV.
It's pretty small for 3 dogs, 2 adults, and 3 children.
Living there for nearly 2 years while their home was under construction.
It was a struggle. I don't really feel like there was much help from the county. We did get a lot of conflicting information.
The couple tells me they paid thousands of dollars for soil samples to test if the arsenic levels were within safe standards to rebuild.
We had to have it done like 3 or 4 times at like $3,000 a pop.
They say they were rejected multiple times by the county until neighbors informed them that their samples passed with higher levels. The Patelziks say the soil samples were just one obstacle on the journey to rebuild. ABC 10 reached out to Solano County about the issues. Director of Resource Management Terry Schmidt-Bauer told ABC 10 the state adjusted the allowable arsenic levels, suspecting that they may be naturally occurring after it was too difficult for some residents to meet the standard. In a statement, the director added, quote, "The county continues to prioritize rebuilding efforts in the LNU fire-impacted area, including permit fee reductions for fire-impacted residents and processing permits expediently as possible." As for Cheryl and Tim, they have since moved into their new home, building it stronger than before, with reminders of this fire-prone territory in their backyard. The Patelziks thankful to make it this far.
California's 2020 wildfire season is one of the worst on record. The fires killed 33 people with overall economic losses of more than $19 billion. Firefighting costs totaled more than $2 billion. Coming up next on To the Point, meet Sacramento Metro Fire's new fire chief. Sacramento Metro Fire has a new fire chief. Adam House was just sworn in minutes ago. He is a Sacramento native and graduated from Cordova High School in 1987. He joined Metro Fire back in 2000 and moved through the ranks from firefighter all the way up to assistant chief. House was selected after a nationwide search. He will be the first chief to continuously be a member of Metro Fire since the department was created. And if you have something that you want us to know or things that you want to share that you think that we should be talking about, let us know. You can always text us at 916-321-3310 or email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com. Have a great night. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.